Well, hello, I'm Janet Morana, the Executive Director of Priests for Life. Welcome to our program. Well, since June 24th, when we had the beautiful knowledge and the announcement of the overturning of that terrible decision, Roe v. Wade, our pregnancy help movement has been attacked. First, it was Jane's Revenge and Ruth Sent Me and all these other groups doing all kinds of threats. And then we had Democratic senators like Elizabeth Warren and others calling them fake clinics and trying to create this atmosphere of they need to be shut down. They're lying to women. Well, brothers and sisters, it's the Pregnancy Help Center movement that is helping the women. It's Planned Parenthood and the abortion clinics that lie to the women. Well, you can really be involved. You're going to learn a lot today because we need your help in helping the pregnancy centers. Joining me today is a wonderful woman who has done so much in the Miami area to open pregnancy help medical clinics. So joining me today from the Heartbeat of Miami is Martha Avila, president of the Heartbeat of Miami. Martha, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you so much. What an honor to be here and to share what is going on in our country. It is, like you said, it is very sad, everything that is happening to organizations and missions that are helping and are empowering women by sharing the truth, sharing about their true options to what they're going through. And
That's right.
And that's what the pregnancy clinics in the United States are doing. Obviously, Heartbeat of Miami as well.
Right. So tell us, how did you first get involved? I know you're one of the co-founders of Heartbeat of Miami. How did you first get involved in doing such wonderful work?
Yes, well, there was a study that was done where it revealed that Miami-Dade County was #1 per capita in abortions and abortion providers. And that's when Heartbeat International came along, and we were the urban initiative of Heartbeat International. And along with John Ensor, Jeannie Pernia, we went ahead and followed the direction of Heartbeat International, and that's how Heartbeat of Miami started back in 2006, and we opened our first clinic on July 9th, 2007. So we celebrated 15 years of helping our community.
That's wonderful. And tell us then, how many medical clinics do you have in the Miami-Dade area? And tell us a little bit more about the community that you are helping.
Correct. Well, we have 4 clinics right now in the neediest neighborhoods of Miami-Dade County. And our prayer is that by the end of this year, we can open the 5th one, which will be in Homestead. And that is such a needy area because there are a lot of migrant workers there. And I tell you that the abortion industry is just thriving, with these people that are in so much need. And all they need is to know that there is help for them and that abortion is not the option to their crisis.
Right.
The community that we serve is basically Hispanics, because Miami-Dade, as you know, has a high influence of Hispanics and African Americans, Haitians, people from the islands. We have the opportunity to serve such a diverse community here. Like Miami-Dade is the melting pot of the United States, and we through the whole immigration situation, we have increased the numbers so high. So this is where our situation is right now.
Well, and like I mentioned, since June the 24th, first we had those groups like Ruth Sent Me and Jane's Revenge attacking the pregnancy centers. And then, of course, Senator Elizabeth Warren led the attack in Congress to attack pregnancy centers. Have you received threats? Did you get attacked, your centers? Tell us about what's the situation there on the ground.
Yes, when the leak came out, Janet, we started receiving threats over the phone. Then, without even us calling the FBI or police or anything, because we really didn't know what to do with it, immediately the FBI contacted us and started telling us that they knew that pregnancy clinics were being attacked, and they were going around to the pregnancy clinics and abortion businesses to let them know that things were happening. It was at that time that, of course, we started doing heavy duty prayer, just calling intercessors to come to the rescue here. We were advised to install surveillance cameras. We spent a lot of money in that because of obviously we have the 4 locations, and it was at that time that really the red alert came about, and we didn't know what was going to happen. We were like just in prayer, trusting God for His protection. Then on when the final when the final decision was made on June 24th, we were all guarded. I mean, we didn't have the funds to actually contract security officers or more police officers or anything like that. But because of the threats, the police were making their rounds. Well, I guess that their guard went down, and then on July 3rd, for the 4th of July weekend, we were vandalized. Our clinic in Hialeah was vandalized, and that was pretty scary because there were obviously death threats. As you know, they say one of the things that they wrote down: if abortion is not safe, neither are you. They messed up our surveillance cameras, but we were able to see who. I mean, the even though they were masked, they were recognized, especially the guy that the one of the guys. There were 2 people, and one of them was definitely recognized. So at that moment, every single local news was at the clinics. The detective, the mayor of the Hialeah clinic where the vandalism took place, contacted us, and they really got involved. And believe it or not, the local news, every single one of them was present. They went ahead and actually said the truth, that this was a clinic that was helping women, and yet this had happened, which, to my surprise, they actually did say the truth. However, I think the whole intention was so that women would had been scared, meaning those that vandalized, that women would have been scared and that they wouldn't walk in. Well, that Tuesday of July 5th, I'm sorry, on July 4th, a team helped me to clean up the mess as best as we could. And then that Tuesday, when all the news people were there, detectives, police department, investigators, would you believe, Janet, that 20 women walked in through those doors? 16 of them were at risk of abortion, and 15 babies were saved that day. So women didn't care that the news was there. That, I mean, God just closed their eyes to all of that, and we were still able to do our job that day on July 5th, 2022.
So, were they ever able to catch the people that were responsible for the vandalism?
Believe it or not, they did not. And so even though they know who the guy was. Well, now we fast forward to September. By the way, the threats stopped except for Google went ahead and shut down our the ability for people to leave the reviews and stuff, because I guess they were seeing how they were putting all kinds of threats in those Google ads. I'm sorry, those Google reviews. And so they went ahead and shut that down because a lot of stuff was being put in there, obviously, by Jane's Revenge. And so on September 17th, we had our 15th annual fundraising gala at the Trump National Hotel. And I guess that triggered some people, and they went ahead and started doxing me, putting all kinds of stuff on Instagram, Antifa Miami, whatever it takes, a whole bunch of those sites. Well, someone alerted me on it and said, Martha, they're going to protest the gala. So of course, the red alert came up again. I contacted the venue, explained to them what happened. They went ahead and said that I had to get additional security, so I had to spend money on getting police officers, because I mean we were going to have the gala no matter what. We were not going to back down or bow down to fear, and it was scary. I have to be honest with you, it was. But we went ahead and contracted some police officers, which were there, and they went ahead, and two of them, including the guy that vandalized our clinic, they showed up. And so our gala chair told them that they were not registered. So they said, okay, we just want to take pictures. And she said, no, you can't do that. Well, they still barged in, and it was a very scary moment because they started screaming all kinds of obscenities. Now, mind you, a large group of them were protesting outside already because they did have a permit to protest across the street from the Trump National. Because, they had to be on a swale, and in front of the Trump National, there is no swale, just a main street. So they went across the street and insulting everyone that was coming in to the Trump National Hotel. So when they did barge in, they started screaming all kinds of obscenities, that we were fake clinics, throwing all kinds of like confetti, but it was just shredded paper over people's food. And when she was coming towards me, as I was just thanking my guest in one of the tables, it was the scariest moment, I tell you, of my life, because she went into her purse to get, I guess, more of those papers, but of course I didn't know what she was going to get. So she went into her purse, and I literally almost passed out. And thank God Almighty, it was just more of those shredded papers. And they did arrest them that evening. They spent the night in jail, and next morning they were just being so conceited, saying how they were bailed out, and they fulfilled their purpose of terrifying us, and just messing up our gala. Well, that was not entirely truth, because with all the shaking and all the scary moments and everything, the show did go on, Janet, and God was glorified that evening with the most amazing testimonies. And I was able to still get up there, deliver my message. Our keynote speaker, which was John Ensor, went ahead and spoke his message, and they were not able to destroy what God had intended. And what the enemy meant for bad, God turned it to good. And I know that many lives will continue to be saved because of the work that we are doing in this community that is number one in abortions per capita. And I believe with all my heart that the people that were there were able to experience firsthand, that the struggle is real, and that we are in a spiritual battle more than anything else. And I think that the message was clear, that we're not going to bow down, Janet. We're going to continue this work no matter what.
Right. So, Martha, the fundraiser was successful. I mean, just the news that you have 4 medical clinics and you're going to be opening a 5th shows that your fundraising was successful. But let's talk about the practical help. I don't think people really get a good view into pregnancy help centers. They tend to think about, diapers and formula and cribs and car seats and all that. It's beyond that. So let's talk about that. I mean, that day in July, you had 15 women came, or 20, close to 20,
20 women.
20 women, 15 babies saved.
16,
Okay.
16 at risk of abortion, because, Janet, over 85% of the women we serve are at risk of abortion. Many of them the majority come to our clinics thinking that we are an abortion provider, because at our clinic it says Pregnancy Help Medical Clinic. In other words, Heartbeat of Miami is the name for our donors and our partners. But the women, what they see is Pregnancy Help Medical Clinics. That's what they search. And so at that, when they come in, they think that we're another provider. And yet they see there's something different, and they feel that there's something different. Now, 2 of our pregnancy clinics were a previous abortion business. the one in Hialeah and the one in Little Havana. They were both an abortion business. The one in Little Havana did abortions until the day I signed the lease, and they had closed down that abortion facility, and we took over immediately. So that's, of course, those are things that only God can do, Janet. Only God can do that. And so that clinic, we've been there since we signed the lease on October 15th, and we opened the clinic in January of 2016. And then the Hialeah Clinic was our original clinic since 2007 when we opened. And as you know, that was the clinic where Jeannie Pernia owned and operated back in the days before she became a powerful pro-life advocate and helped me obviously start Heartbeat of Miami. But only God can do things like that. Now, since these women come in and we are a fully equipped medical clinic with our wonderful medical director, we have the sonographers, all professional medical people, and when we're when we from the beginning to end, we are with this woman until that baby is a year old, and oftentimes even after
Yeah.
that.
All
So
right.
this is
So Martha, let's talk about from the moment a woman either calls or walks in the door, she probably knows she's already pregnant. Maybe she took a over the counter test, but she gets another pregnancy test there, right? You confirm she in fact is pregnant, and then tell us the like what seems to be their panic. Like, why do they think they need abortion at that point, and how do you kind of change their mind from wanting that abortion to now wanting their baby?
exactly. Well, when they first come in, they're in fear of being pregnant. They think that the abortion is the only solution. The majority of them are either still in school, they're not married, their parents don't want them to keep the baby, the boyfriend threatens to leave them. I mean, those are the major excuses or reasons for the women in our community having an abortion. Many of them come as they're not documented. They're not documented. They think that abortion is the only solution. That they're not going to have insurance. I mean, all those things come together, and obviously, that's that is not. There's never a reason. Abortion is never an option because there is a solution for each and every one of their situations. I mean, if their parents kick them out of their house, we have resources in our community that can be there for them. If they don't have documents, they can still have a baby in a hospital and be tended by a physician. I mean, so in reality, none of those things are an option. So how God changes their heart is when these women are just understood, when they're listened to, when they see that there's no hidden agenda, that nothing that they can that nothing, we're not going to charge them for anything, that we're just there for them. And then we take them into that ultrasound room and they hear that baby's heartbeat and they see that baby on that ultrasound screen. God just does the full work right there and then. And they know that we're not lying to them, and we tell them that we're going to be there for them. And believe me, Janet, that even though that 85% is seeking an abortion, over 92% of them are choosing life at our pregnancy clinics, to God's glory.
That's great. So okay, so now they get the sonogram. They say, okay, I'm not going to have the abortion, but take us through the rest of the pregnancy. Like, how often do they come to the medical clinic? What kind of, like, do you give parenting classes? Like, how do you get them to that point where now they give birth to the baby? And then you just said, oh, but sometimes they stay with us till the baby's a year or 2 years old. Show us kind of like that journey and how, what are the steps that you get her to the point where not only is she saying, yes, I want my baby now, but you give her all the tools she needs to be a good mommy.
Correct. Yes, because we have to take it full circle. We share the word of God with them. We point them to the true Savior. Tell them that there is a community that not only us, but if they are for of the Catholic faith, we send them to the church. If they are from the evangelical faith, if their parents, we go down to the root, to where they can continue to get that support. But through that whole year, we are there for them after they have their baby with any postpartum issues, during their pregnancy. If they need, of course, we refer them to the local OBGYNs that work with us, that we know are pro-life doctors, that if that woman gets a bad report of that baby, in her womb, they send them back to us so that we can continue with counseling. These girls are, they see that there's a group of women there that are going to be there for them, helping them. We connect them with the parenting classes that we provide, whatever they need for their baby. As you know, all the women that are coming from other countries, they have nothing. Yet we have a community that is helping us with diapers, with baby items that we can go ahead and provide for these girls. And another thing, even the women that we have served in the past, Janet, they come back with their baby items that we gave them so that we can help another mom. And that's what community is all about. And that's how we teach these women, that it's not all about us, that it's not all about them, and that they can be a part of helping to save lives as well. And it's changing that culture of death into a culture of life.
And then, Martha, do you ever have some of them that want to seek an adoption plan? Because that is obviously another option. I mean, the most important thing is to make them understand you don't have to destroy the life of this child. If you want to raise that child, we'll help you. But if you
Correct.
want to walk away after you give birth, we can help you with that too. So, do you have
Absolutely.
what are the resources for people who might say, you know what, I'm still too young. I can't be a mommy. How do
Absolutely.
you help them make that adoption plan decision?
Not everyone can parent, not everyone is able to, but adoption is such a beautiful option. And we share adoption with all our cases, because you never know who is at that position. We can't determine, oh, she's married, no, she's not going to think about adoption. We present adoption in all of our cases, no matter what, because we don't prejudge, we don't know. And so at that point, we might present adoption, and it has happened to us. It has happened that someone unlikely to place a baby does. So adoption for us, we always tell them that we were all adopted into God's family. And we use the beautiful story of Moses, and that an open plan of adoption, that she gets to choose the parents that are going to raise the child. And she is that answer to prayer for a couple that cannot have children. And adoption, the way that we put it is in such a beautiful way that God touches their heart. And I believe that is the success that we have had, to God's glory, that over 92% of them choose life. And Janet, we're also a part of the abortion pill reversal process. We're part of the network. And I tell you that we have seen so many miracles take place of moms that regretted taking the first dosage, and we have been able to reverse that abortion, and then to have that mom place her baby. That is like a full circle. I mean, that's such an awesome experience that we have had as well. And yes, there is a sadly, there's an 8% that does abort, Janet. And now with the abortion pill being so accessible, but since they trust us, they have come back to us, Janet. And I mean, with a horrible experience of going through that abortion by themselves, we have seen things. Our staff has seen things that have been very hard to deal with, because oftentimes, they have come, Janet, with a baby, in a napkin. And I mean, it's just horrific. And I want to say this because it is a reality of what the pregnancy clinics are experiencing in our country with this whole thing of the abortion pill. And they're not telling these girls what they're going through. And this is a different, it's going to take a different type of abortion recovery for them, because they went through it by themselves. There was not a doctor doing it, there was no one else there. And so I wanted to bring that up as well, because it is a hard thing that we're experiencing. And as you know, over 54% of the abortions that are taking place right now in our country are with the abortion pill.
That's right. And, Martha, with the Silent No More Awareness campaign and Rachel's Vineyard, that's what we're finding, that the women who have had this chemical abortion are more traumatized because they can't blame a doctor.
No.
The whole blame is on them. They're the one that's to take the pill. And then, like you just described, they see that baby.
Yes.
The abortion clinic tells them, oh, it's just like a heavy period. It's a blob of tissue, no big deal. But
It's,
what they're seeing in their toilet or in the bathroom there is a baby. They see fingers, they see toes. It's tiny, but it's a full formed baby.
it
And
is.
they're shocked. And so, therefore, their home becomes the abortion clinic. And so they're so traumatized.
That's
So,
right. Janet, when they
I'm
come
so
back,
happy though that we have the abortion pill reversal. I know hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of babies have already been saved by it. And it's the great news that when they do take that first pill in the clinic and go home and have that second thought, they're able to save that baby. So, Martha, I want to thank you for joining me today. And we all join you in prayer for safety, a hedge of protection around your clinics, because I know the life saving work you're doing right there in the heartbeat of Miami is so important. So, thank you for joining me today.
thank you, Janet. You know, over 58,000 babies have been rescued since 2007. So
I know.
that just shows how women are not really being empowered by
Nope.
those that are talking so much about women
Right.
empowerment. Because
That's
if
right.
that was the case, over 92% would not be choosing life when they
That's
are
right.
given the true options of parenting or a plan of adoption. God
That's right.
bless you, Janet. Thank you for your prayers.
God bless you too, Martha. And thanks for joining me today. Well, brothers and sisters, I hope you've gotten a real picture as to the help pregnancy centers give. And you could be involved too. Here's a homework assignment for you. I'd like you to go to pregnancycenters.org, put in your zip code, see where the nearest pregnancy center is to where you live. And I'd like you to go and visit them. See the great help that's happening in your community. And maybe God's calling you to volunteer and help support that pregnancy center. Remember, brothers and sisters, there are some abortions only you will be able to stop, and some lives only you will be able to save. Join us again next time. Thank you, and God bless.